Okay, the 622 lesson was on solving multi-step inequalities. So this is just a review of what we've been doing over the last few days. So inequality states that two values are not equal using the symbols less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than equal to, or the not equal to sign. So down here, it shows us all what each symbol looks like, as well as what each symbol means. Over here, it gives us details on graphing an inequality. So remember, if we use less than or greater than, we use an open circle. We use less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, we use a closed circle. You always read the inequality starting with the variable. So like this example, x is less than or equal to -2. We put a closed circle on -2 and the line would go to the left. And also you want to think about that the inequality symbol looks like an arrow and it's pointing towards the left. So you kind of can follow that as long as the variable comes first. All right, these first two examples are how to solve multi-step inequalities. So the first example you want to think about as if I was going to I'm just making sure my marker works. If I was going to solve an equation, how would I do that? So you think of it as an equal sign. So the first thing I would do is I would distribute the 3 to both numbers. So I'm going to get a 3x plus 6 plus 5 is greater than 44. So then I can add together the 6 and the 5 because they're like terms. So then I get 3x plus 11 is greater than 44. So now it's a regular two-step inequality. So I subtract 11 from both sides. Cancel, I get 3x is greater than 33. And then I divide both sides by 3. So my final answer is x is greater than 11, which means that all numbers bigger than 11 will be an answer for x. So 12, 14, 156. So the second problem, I'm going to multiply through by -2. So I'm going to get -8n plus 10, because a negative times a negative is a positive. It's greater than or equal to 70. So then I subtract 10 from both sides. I get -8n is greater than or equal to 60. And then I divide both sides by -8. So then n, 60 divided by -8 is -7.5. Because I divided by a negative number, it flips my inequality symbol. So I get n is less than or equal. All right. So this question says, how does the solution of an equation differ from a solution of an inequality? So in an equation, there is one solution, and in an inequality, we have many solutions. All right, so this next infographic is just like another way to look at inequalities. So it gives me the symbols again, less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. Then word clues, which we're going to lose a little more next week when we talk about word problems with inequalities, but clues to which inequality, right? And then over here, graphing. So if it's less than, we use an open circle, the line goes left. Greater than, open circle, line goes right. Less than or equal to, closed circle, line left. Greater than or equal to, closed circle, line right. All right, so this is a review from 621. So it says, what inequality is shown by this graph? Drag the correct symbol into place. So I start by thinking about the fact that I know it's x and 3. So then I have to think about what inequality I would put in between it. So the first thing I think of is I look at my line. It's going to the left, and my arrow looks like a less than sign. So I know that I'm going to use less than. So it's got to be one of these two. So then I think, okay, is it an open circle or a closed circle? It's a closed circle, which means it's going to be less than or equal to. So it's this one. The next example says, circle all the values that are solutions to y is greater than -2. So I go through each number and I decide, okay, is that greater than -2? So 5 is greater than -2. -2 is equal to -2, but doesn't fit in this inequality because it's not, there's no line under the inequality sign. 0 is greater than -2. 2 is greater than -2. And then -1.75 is greater. Because remember, the smaller the inequality, the bigger it actually is. So like -3, -2.5, and -12 are not bigger than -2. All right, our next example. So we have -6w plus 5 is less than 19. So my first step is going to be to subtract 5 from both sides. Then I have -6w is less than -24. Then I'm going to divide both sides by -6. So w is something then 4. So then I have to think, did I multiply or divide by a negative number? I did, so my inequality symbol flips over. So then to graph it, I have w is greater than 4, so I grab the open circle and put it on 4. Then I grab the greater than line, because it's going towards the numbers that are greater than it, and I move it over to there. Okay. My next example, I have 7a plus 2 plus 5a is less than 14. The first thing I'm going to do is add together these two right here to get 12a plus 2 is less than 14. So then I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. I get 12a is less than 12. And then I divide both sides by 12. So I'm going to get a is less than 1. So I graph it. It's going to be an open circle on 1. And I'm going to use my less than line. The last example, I am going to first distribute. I get -24m minus 36 is greater than 108. There's more examples after this. I add 36 to both sides. Just cancel. I get -24m is greater than 144. Divide both sides by -24. I'm going to get m and -6. Because I divided by a negative, it flips it over. So it's m is less than -6. So it's open circle on -6. Less than, so it's going to the left. I somehow got these out of order. All right, so this is our last example. So on this example here, my inequality is backwards. The variable is on the right-hand side instead of the left. So I'm going to reverse it, but I have to be careful because when I do that, I have to flip the inequality symbol over. So I make it greater than or equal. So I distribute by 5. I get 30 plus 15x is greater than or equal to 120. Subtract 30 from both sides. I get 15x is greater than or equal to 90. Divide by 15. I get x is greater than or equal to, so 15, 30, 45, 60 is 6. So then I'm going to graph that. Close circle on 6. And it's greater than or equal to, so it's going this way.